Testing. Testing. One, two. Sound check. Yes, I think the sound is okay. Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Dan, and today's live we're just going to going through the market outlook, and this is just going to bring us a very interesting topic over here, which is where we're just going to be going through the market outlook for today. We'll just be looking what the market is actually expected to do, what the market will just be doing in different ways, that is currencies, we have commodities, we have crypto. I'll just be checking all of them over here, including some of the what we just expect in terms of the news. So I'll just be brief in this video because I know if I actually go into details, we're just going to be taking so many hours. I just want to take like 20 minutes over here, and then I will just build up done to summarize the whole week summary of what we just expect over there. I know it's just going to help you. Maybe you are just going to trend this week, and as you always know that we have been doing this, and the market is actually just doing something that is amazing. And this week we're just going to be expecting a lot, actually the movement like we saw the last week all the market just did. So I hope you're good. I hope maybe you are ready to take your positions, and we're just going to start over there. The reason I'm just saying is because I'm going to cover everything that is crypto, foreign currencies, commodities, stocks, the equity in general, and maybe you can just have a clue on what we're just going to be dealing with over here. Okay, because this is just going to be a quick one, let me just brief you on what we expect this week in terms of the news so that you can just be alert. And the reason I'm saying this is because even if you actually trained only technical analysis, we will just come to technical analysis, but you cannot avoid the news, because even if you are good, so good in technical analysis, and then you just avoid the news, then this is actually going to affect your trend so much. So let me just start on today. Today is on Monday, and what we expect today is actually not a lot, but we actually have a US bank holiday that is taking place today. That means in terms of currencies that are moved by the US dollar, we're just going to be having a low volatility today being on Monday, because there is a bank holiday. So that is what we just have to know over there. Okay, on Tuesday we are waiting for the monetary policy that is just going to be announced by the Australia, that is Howdy. So monetary policy, we're just going to be hearing all that. But the reason actually we have this monetary policy over here on Tuesday over here, let me just zoom so that you can see, is because what happened last week is actually we saw an what we call employment rate actually increasing. And when we have actually employment rate increasing, it drives to bring that is CPI, it increases Testing. Okay. Sorry for the voice. Okay. So my voice was down. Sorry for that. Let me repeat again what I was talking about over here. So I was expecting something here. Okay, let me just brief this so that maybe you can just be on board. Sorry for that one. So let's just brief on what we expecting right over here. So we have a lot of news that we just expect over here, and I'm just going to be going through through them so that we can just be knowing what to do here. So my system was down. So thank you for confirmation. Thank you for the confirmation. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, let's just go through this, and we're just going to be helping you out so much over here. And okay. So on Monday today we have the US bank holiday, as I said, and today we don't we expect little movement over here because the dollar has a low volatility of the dollar because today is the bank holiday. So that's the ones of the things that we can just see right over here. The next thing on the Tuesday over here, we expect the monetary policy that is just going to be implemented by Australian dollar over here. The monetary policy over here will just be meeting minutes over here. Monetary policy, you know, anything can just happen in that meeting, and so many people, so many traders actually just go through that meeting to know the point that are actually taken over there, so that they can know what they just expect. You know, this is not for every trader, you know, unless maybe you know how to interpret the news and all that. But sometimes you can just wait, and maybe you can just get the summary and analyze to know the directions or the monetary policy that the bank or what they are just going to do next, and how it's just going to affect that currency. And that is what you can just be checking out over there for those who don't know how to do more about the news. The last sound was employment rate. Okay, we've just been going over there, so let me just go briefly, yeah, because we missed somewhere. Yeah, so someone was talking about the employment rate. I think that is why we left. Yes, employment rate was, oh yeah, on Thursday. So I think we are on Thursday, and Thursday was unemployment claims. Yes, so unemployment claims, we expecting of the US dollar to be, you can see an unemployment claim actually just to increase a bit. That means that the dollar is actually strengthening in case this becomes so low, because you can see previously was 262 and now we expect 256. That means if it keeps going down like this, then we expect the dollar to gain more strength over here. So in case the dollar strengthened, you know what will just happens over here. We expect the reversals of small currencies like Euro, USD over here. And Federal Reserve Paul will testify, so we'll just be speaking over here again on Thursday, and we just expect again some movement right over here. So that's amazing. That one, because I think we're not going to waste a lot of time, maybe you can just go through that, and if you just know how to analyze this, it will just be very important, especially this week. You will just be trading all these currencies over here. Yeah, but yeah, those are the movement. So I just want to go through the brief through the technical analysis side so that we can just know what we expect the market to do this week. Okay, I'm going to start with the Euro USD around this area, and we're just going to see what do we expect over here, because last week we saw the movement of the Euro USD moving this way. So this was a very good move for the Euro USD, and I think this is a 1 day time frame. So as you can see over here, what I will just be looking over here, I was actually expecting this one here. I was expecting it to touch here So this graph actually just drew it long time ago. Hii kitu nilichora kitambo sana. So and I was expecting this actually to touch around 1.05. Yeah, but something happened and then it just going upward again. And according to the news that you have seen, in case maybe the dollar continue, in case the news that you have seen, if the news goes good over here, then the dollar is actually going to strengthen over here. Something like unemployment, if it's just going to increase, you know, or the speech that we just be getting from the Powell, if it may cause the dollar to strengthen over here, then we just be expecting a reversal. So that is in terms of the news. And the other thing that we just see on technicals over here is this is 1 day time frame. You can see actually this was a very good move over here. Now so many people, what you just do over here, I've seen some people trying to draw something we call hands over here, and this cannot be a triple top. This cannot be a triple top because this one was not touched. Yes, you can see this was sewn down over here, so you cannot consider this one touching around this area, and maybe you think this one it is going to touch here and maybe reverse. Okay, but you can just come with a good idea of maybe having the what we call the end shoulder here, where you can actually even draw something like this. This is, we are just talking here about the price action before maybe we use a little indicator to tell us what is just going to happen. Okay, so you can see when actually you use at least something like that, we'll be having at least this forming something like we have a shoulder here. We'll be having at least a shoulder over here, although it's not that perfect, and at least we'll just be having another shoulder over here, and then we can expect the market actually to just maybe reverse back maybe by maybe 200 pips. Yeah, maybe a 200 pips movement where the market can just move maybe up to 1.07. yeah, so that will just be expecting over here. So for me, I will be waiting the market actually maybe to touch 1.1. Even the market actually touches this point, that is 1.1, then maybe we can just expect the market actually to just draw back over here. The reason I'm saying this is for 1 day time frame on the Euro USD is because when you just use this indicator, that is RSI, you know, that is the indicator just love combining with the price action sometimes. We can just use different indicators over here, and you can see I almost the moving average over here, but let's just talk simply by just talking about RSI. I don't want to confuse so many indicators here, but when you just see over here, you can see we have at least some little movement for it actually to come at least to touch this region before we have a reversal around this area. And this movement over here, you know what, the reason I will just give it at some point is to touch here. So this is more touch over here that we expect to touch here. That is the bonus that I'm giving it to touch over here, and the moment it touches here, that is what I can have what we are calling it shoulder, hand and shoulder over there. Okay, that is what now I'll just be calling it over there. So that is what we just expecting. Maybe we can just wait at least maybe 8 pips before maybe we place another sell for that. You can just confirm maybe with your indicators that you're just using over there with that, but you can see we just have at least little moving up before with that. But for today, I don't think whether it can just do that because we have a US bank holiday, and we will be expecting little movement over here, unless maybe tomorrow or the other day, maybe later the things can just happen, you know, but we just expect it to little come down over here. So what I'm just doing over here, what I will do, let me just do something over here before we go to the next currency on what we expect. On this one, you can rely on your indicator maybe to see whether we expect something. Just do your analysis on your side and tell me whether we expect this movement to come over here and reverse back. Okay, yeah, so I'm expecting to be entering around 1.1, and my stop loss actually will just be across this will be little above this. The reason I'll be placing my stop loss around 1.15 is the reason because when this market, if it actually can this can be, there's something I actually talked about over here, is because I can just be having, because this is 1.09 this is 1.093, I can just be having 2 points over here to sell. Okay, I can be selling at that point that I've just drawn over here, 1.1. I can also sell at 1.11 over here, you know, but you just need an account to be good over here. Okay, so and I will place my stop loss around this area for this too. So this is a good one, because the moment you enter a sell around this area and enter between this region over here and you enter here, okay, the reason you enter them, okay, let me just repeat again. The moment you enter a sell around this region over here, I hope you can see. For those using phone, make sure that you maximize your screen full so that you can see this. So I enter 1.1 here, and then I enter over here, because there is possibility the market can touch over here and then the market actually reverses back. So I can have two entry point here and here, and the moment the market maybe will start maybe to move from here, in case the market touches over here, I will not be lost. But the moment the market actually will just be returning to the original position, I'll still be in profit over here. So that is what you can just draw over here, because anytime we expect the market actually to retrace back, anytime is only we are just waiting for this to hit that. But when we go to the 4-hour time frame, let's see what we see. It's just the same thing. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see still the market was overbought around this area, around this region over here. So we can just be waiting a little bit for this market to touch, as we just sent over here, before maybe reversing back to that position we are just drawn over here. You can try that analysis on your side, and maybe you're going to see that one. So that is the Euro USD. That is will just be my my two entry point. But I will just I can just enter that one and maybe wait in 3 days to 4 days, and then I just going to see the result for that. So that's just going to be simple in that way. So let's talk about another currency over here. I hope maybe you have understood something over there. So let's just look at the cable, the GBP USD that we are just being expecting the CPI on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we will just be expecting the CPI data for the GBP USD. There's something that I'm just going to show you at the end of this. Make sure that you just follow this. There's something interesting. Okay, so as you can see right over here, then GBP, the British pound has just been gaining so much over the the dollar over here, as you can see. And this is the movement we have seen. This is a very good move that we have seen over here. Sorry. And what can you actually, well, okay, I've not drawn anything over here because the market is actually moving so fast. Let me start with the 1 day time frame. Maybe we can just identify something over here before using any indicator. So as you can see this movement, let me show you this movement. So this movement shows us that there's still a potential to go up. The movement when I can still locate little of, I cannot locate a perfect using the price action theories. So let me try to get a trend line, a perfect trend lines here. You can see that when you can see that the market has actually been going up. The market is going up nicely over here. I hope you can see that market is going down up very nicely here, but when it comes to the upper one, we don't have that. So what I can just be expecting this market to do, the previous, so we are just going to be looking at the previous resistance point. we are just going to be looking at the previous resistance point. So where we get the previous resistance point is actually across this area. We get the previous resistance across 1.32. So that is where we get the previous resistance point. So will the market actually move maybe up to this place? There's the possibility in case, and the one possibility that can actually cause that is the CPI data that we are expecting. The CPI data that we are expecting is the one that can actually move the GBP to that move. So for those who trade GBP, that is what we can expect over there, because you can see when we try to, it has a very perfect trend lines over here that touches the support regions, but we don't have this one. You cannot just draw the lines just like that, but you can see this one. So that means this is a very good move, and maybe we can just be expecting it to be still going up, because you can see the trend line just shows us that and remember, this is a 1 day time frame, so that means the GBP has a potential of going up and up. This is a trend lines, this is a support area, and it can just go to this place, so it can jump up to 1.32. so the CPI data is what will just cause maybe this moment to kick out of there. But for now, you can see it is already approaching the sell point over here. So some people, what they just do over here is to go to lower time frames like 1 hour, and maybe, you know, it's not matters of whatever I'm just talking over here about this one moving to this region. It can just take some days. But for people who actually maybe trade or scalp over here, you can see what we can just do over here is we can use the RSI to determine maybe we just can have little reversals over here, like at this region over here. You can see we end an overbought over here in the 1 hour, we end this one. So what you can just use over here, you can use RSI to determine the market has just been overbought over here, anyway this down over here, but we have a little accumulation over here in the last few hours. Today I said is a bank holiday, and this is obvious over here, because we just be accumulations will actually be happening here a little bit. So on the GBP USD, my opinion is for those trending short time over here, you can just wait. You can see, because the market has already reversed over here, just wait for the market actually to just go up like let me draw something else. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame over here. So it will just be very tricky over here for the GBP, because it will just be heading down according to whatever you just be, but it's just going to reverse from this point up to this point, because of our indicators that are showing the market is already overbought. So it means the market is actually maybe going to return to 1.26, around 1.26 over here, before it proceeds to 1.32. so that is what we can expect on the GBP USD. Okay, but on Tuesday the CPI data will just determine on that, because it will either move the GBP very higher or maybe reverse it back to touch again our trend line over here. But the short-term people over here, it's clear over here. This you can actually enter around this over here. So let me draw something here. This is just a clue. The market actually can just go. How many pips are this from current one? Which let me just count to see whether it's something sensible. So the market is at 1.28 and the market goes to 1.26. Yeah, 200 pips, very nice, around 200 pips. So we can just be expecting small reversals over here, because the market is overbought, as you can see in 4-hour time frame. But when you just go to the 1 day time frame over, it's just the same thing. So if you trend the 4-hour time frame, you consider actually entering a small sale over here, but knowing so well that overall in long term the GBP is actually ending somewhere very far. The GBP is actually ending to 1.32 maybe there and going up over there. So that is how you just have to be trading on this. That is what we can just talk about the currencies. You can check on the Howdy USD using the same formula. You can check on all the currencies that we just trend over here, but so many people actually trend Euro USD, GBP USD, you know, Howdy can't over here, although some of those minor pairs actually they are very slow. You can have a good movement, but you have to wait for long, so that's why many people actually prefer to trend these currencies that are main pairs over here. Now I want to look at something that is very interesting over here. So there's something that so many people have just been waiting. I want to look at the gold movement, and over here is just going to be interesting. So if you are over here and you have not liked this video, make sure that you just do so, because we are almost to end this. I don't want it to stay that long, but it's something was a technical issue. Okay, but let's just touch on the gold, on the commodities, and then we go to the stock market. Okay, and then we finish with the cryptocurrency, because you can actually even trade cryptocurrency anytime you just want, anywhere. Okay, so that is going to be amazing over here. Now let me just touch on this gold. Let's see on the gold. You can see there was a very nice movement of the gold, and actually gold is between it moved to 1925, 1925, 1925, and so many people waited to it to touch 1918. But this trend line I actually introduced so long a time ago, and I've been waiting to see how this movement is just going to be manifested maybe in future. Nataka kuona vyenye kitu itagongwa hapa. How will this thing do? How will this work? Yeah, so about this trend line, this is it. So you can see this trend line. Let me just tell you something about this trend line I just drew over here. So these two lines over here, they are parallel. That means they are very parallel. When it comes to this one, they are not symmetric. You cannot draw symmetric triangle. They are not going to meet anywhere. They are something like that. That is what you just have to understand them. So on these trend lines over here, when actually I identify this parallel triangle, something that happens is that I actually always get something that is perfect on the market. But what I'm just been seeing over here, we can apply two rules over here. I want to talk about the price action. I want to talk about the people who trend SMC, that is the smart money concept, and we can just implement that to know the direction on what just going to be getting over here. Now when it comes to price action theory, we can see we have good trend lines over here that are touching our points over here. That is number one. So the price action, it just shows us that the trend line of the support area has just been touched, and what we expect from there is maybe a pullback, just the market just going upward, something like this. Okay, so that is price action. Okay, and we said before you enter into the market, you can have something we call the place of confluence, something like that. But remember, you can just be trending gold around this area, and actually you can even lose. Okay, but if your account is banned, so let's proceed. Now that is price action. Now when it comes to smart money concept, we talk about something called accumulation phase and distribution phase. So when it comes to accumulation phase, it's where it is just being formed after the sell. So it is just formed at the bottom when the market is actually about to buy, and the one you just form about that block. So we can have like something like this. We can form and say this is a block, and you can name this as the what we call the accumulation phase. So the accumulation phase happens before the bull market, and you can see is actually forming around our trend line. So that is one of the things we have just been talking about over here. I just want to talk about this, and then you tell me whether this is what you see on your side there. So we have that one. Okay, And this is a 4-hour time frame. Let me just look at 1 day time frame over here so that we can just have the future of the gold on what we see. And when we just talk about this one, you can see the gold is not sitting where we have expecting a lot of sales. When you talk about the RSI, that is what I'm just talking about over here. Just look like we are in winter over here. Let me see whether I will just see the market. I cannot see that symbol that just shows us there's something I was looking. Okay, I wanted to check the condition of the market in 1 day time frame, whether there is strong buy or strong seller, but we'll be looking at that later. But as you can see, this is what I'll just be talking about. This is a 1 day time frame, as you can see. And my question is that can we really expect the gold actually to touch our point over here, because the gold has been struggling to touch 2100? So will gold actually touch 2100? Or because we can see the previous one, we end this triple top over here. It was almost triple top over here. So in case the gold moves up this round, it may actually break these points here. Okay, and how will you know that gold is actually going to touch 2100? Is actually when it breaks this accumulation phase that we have over here, and it is where actually it touches 2000. So in case you know gold touches 2000, then you just know we are heading to 2100. So that is what we can just talk about and go over here on the accumulation phase. But when it comes to that is long time on what we expect on the gold. So when it comes to long time on the gold, my entry will be 2100. So there's no worries about that. 2100, and my stop loss will just be around 1880 there. 1880 something around here, because where if actually the market moves around 1900, the market actually will have broken our trend lines over here, and we'll have something else apart from all these rules about trend lines. The blocks over here will just be broken, and then we just start afresh. Okay, now that can be a stop loss. Okay, but remember, when I place my stop loss around this area and I enter around this area, I will just be taking a very big risk to risk reward ratio, because I will just be existing at 2100. That is long time. That is for long, for the people actually will just be entering gold long. What about the short term traders? If you just maybe looking for the short term, then the gold is actually not showing the, unless maybe you are scalping, but the gold is still, as I said, we have an accumulation phase, and as you can see right over here, the gold is touching between these ends. You can see it's just touching this point and reversing back. Let me just draw something. You can see the gold is just touching this, moving down, up, touching this, you know, you can see around this, just doing this on this block. So unless maybe you just maybe wait around this somewhere over here or here, but you know, anytime we can just be having a breakout point, anytime we can just be having a breakout point over this. So that is what we can just be talking about the gold over here. Clear entry for the long time, that is for the long time that I can just see over here. But for the short time over here, unless maybe we just wait for the market to touch maybe around this block over here, but knowing so well there can be breakout anytime on the day. Okay, the next thing that you're just going to be talking about over here is the let me talk about the US oil, so that we can just finish with so that tumalizane na store this we have UK oil, but let me just talk about the US oil. The US oil is here. So there's something I was actually doing on the US oil as well. Let me show you something over here. It's just something simple to give you an overview of the market, how the market has just been doing, and this is amazing. So as you can see, this is perfect trend lines. The reason I call them perfect trend lines is because they touch 3.123 1 2 3, so that means they are in working. That means they are working. So as you can see on the US oil, unless maybe you are entering at this point and dissecting, but for the long time we are expecting, let me just talk about the long time before we talk about the short time entries. So as you can see for the US oil, the market, let me just show you how the market was moving. So the market was moving this way, the market touched this, moved this way, so touched our lines, moved this way, touched this point, touched this, trying to touch this one. Now what you see over here is that there is possibilities that the market is just going to touch 77 before actually maybe reversing back to 57 or 57, or either it will just break at this point in case it reaches here, or there's maybe a possibility it is just going to break here. Okay, so that is what you can say about here. So it can either break this one because it will already have touched so many times in case it reaches here, or it can just go this way. But for now you can see when you just even use the indicator over here in 1 day time frame, the market is as a center. The market is the center over here, and you can see our trend line also, it just shows as the market is a central here at the center of here. When you can just actually draw this, you can see the market is almost in between the trend lines around this area. So what we can just be expecting over here is either the market to touch 77 before reversing back over here. But what I can just tell you over here is anytime you see the US oil actually going down, you actually buy. Anytime you see it touching down over here, unlike the news, but anytime you see the oil touching around these regions over here, you know, these regions over here, then you can be actually be buying, expecting the price, because lower this, you know, what you can just consider over here is this trend lines between here, because USL is very volatile, very volatile. So anytime we just be having a price below this one over here around this area, we can actually consider to buy, because on the long time maybe we can just be expecting it to be touching around this region, around 77, around 77 here, 77, yeah, 77. But for now you can see, let me just go to 1 day time frame, maybe you can just see things further. I'm trying maybe to work on 1 day time frame. I'm trying to work on long term investors, short term investors, you know. But if you actually want to benefit from these things very nicely, my advice is fund your account well and wait long. A long time market will just pay you very nicely, and anytime you can just assist the market, but just requires good capital and patience. That is what you just need over here. You can see 1 day time frame of that is 1 hour. This was my entry point. This is where I was entering. So this is what you can trend, but you already have a feature of where the market will just be heading to. But you can see we have just be enjoying some profit over here, like where we have been having the bottom triple bottom over here. We're just be forming triple tops, triple bottoms over here, and we actually entered. The reason actually you can see this movement over here is because we end oversold, oversold around this area and oversold around this area. So the reason actually I entered this, I actually gave a signal of this is because we end our oversold here around this area. So I'm just using the simple language so that you can just understand this. So we end on the oversold area around this region over here, and actually the market was forming 3 support area. So when I actually drew this horizontal support area, it's actually touched area. So this was a very nice opportunity to enter when I was actually using 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame. That was a very nice entry point over here to milk some pips over here. And it's actually not just a small pips, because the US oil is actually very volatile. The US oil is very volatile. So you can see it actually moved from 67 and moved up to 71. So that is a very big move over here. So for those who fear, some people I know they fear to trade US oil because it's actually very volatile. I think sometimes even more than gold, so sometimes even more than gold, because it can just move from one place to another very fast. You can make actually a lot of money when you are just trading the oil. So for the short time, let's see whether we can just see something over here on the US oil. We have that, and I don't think we just have that much, but I can spot something like this. I can spot something like this. And what else do we have to help us the movement? Do we get anything here? So you actually understand why some people actually can stick to the chart even so many hours trying to find what is happening. So the reason you have to understand a lot of things is because you have to know a lot of things so that you can see the possibility of what is forming. You cannot just rely on one thing. You can learn SMC, you can learn price action, you can learn indicators, you can learn everything over here, okay? And you can just actually know the potential of what's just going to happen in the market, something like that. What do you see over here? Okay, US oil. So we have already discussed about the long time movement of the US oil, but you can see this trend line over here is so perfect. This one is so perfect here. And the moment this touches here, actually the market, you know how I'm timing this, I'm just combining the trend lines with one indicator. I'm trying to combine this one with the one indicator. Okay, so what I can just do here is to turn this one into 4 hour time frame, and I can come with something we call descending triangle. Let me delete this so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is 4 hour time frame, and I have to extend this kidogo and then extend this. Okay, so what do we have here? We are not cooking the result, but we are trying to have at least good movement around this. Does it touch those point? Yeah, the reason yeah, that is good, because the reason that's work over here is because we have 1 point, a support region. Let me delete these things so that you can see what I've drawn. You can see I'm going to end this anytime. So this is what we see around this area. So this is a movement over here, descending triangle. This is a descending triangle, and you can see it's just working, because actually the moment it has touched this area, how many times? 1, 2, 3. The 4th time is actually the market just reversed back. So I just want to give you an assignment. Just go and look what drew descending triangle look. Try to draw your own descending triangle to see whether you're going to see that. and how it works. How do you expect the movement of a descending triangle? I'm not going to tell you that. Descending triangle, what do you expect on the trend the moment you identify a descending triangle? If we are price action user, actually, what do you see? What do you use? What do you expect in the market after formation of the descending triangle? You can combine with your indicators over there. This is just a quick one. We can just go into details of these things, and you can just have maybe even the scalping regions over here, but just I'm giving you some clues on what you can actually use over here, and just going to be helping you over here. Let's just look on the stock market, and then we can finish from that. We cannot talk about the stock market without talking about the Nasdaq. So this is very clear. Let me just tell you something about the Nasdaq. It's just very clear. It's clear here. The reason this is clear is because when you just go to the long time, so if you are trying to invest in Nasdaq, actually take long time. You are just trying to invest in stock, invest long time. It's just going to be helping you, to capture so many pips movement over here. So as you can see for the Nasdaq over here, this is a good entry point because we have already triple tops around this region over here. You can see still I'm combining these things, price action indicators and all that. So for this one, I'm actually expecting a little move over here, and not a little move over here when it comes to Nasdaq, because the minimum lot you can just enter 0.1 over here. It can just make you a very good amount of money. But you can see still the last thing that can just help us to know we are expecting a reversal is actually the candlestick that we just formed over here. And what do we expect these candlesticks over here to be formed? So I think maybe is this up? I'm going to, no, this cannot be. So I think let's see whether because this is a one day time frame, let's see whether this candle is actually going to engulf the previous one. So if this is going to engulf this one and move down one below this, then it is a confirmation that we just be having a very nice movement towards downwards over here. Okay, so if these two candles will just confirm and downwards over here. Now what we can just see over here on the Nasdaq here, okay, let me just, this is a one day time frame as I said. You can see we have this testing point over here of the tops over here, and the market is already overbought when it comes to Nasdaq. So the market is already overbought when we just use that indicator. So, and I'll use that one. So the candlesticks over here are the ones that will just be helping us to have a good entry. So you can use the candlesticks over here to confirm. So after these candlesticks, you can just have your good entry point over here. But for me, I actually entered at 15,250. That was my entry point, and already there is something good. So I'll just be waiting for this good movement around this to come around to 14,500 over here for the Nasdaq. So that is what Nasdaq maybe we can just expect in terms of the Nasdaq. We have seen the price moving very up. Okay, the price has just been moving up. Sorry for that. So okay, so the price has just been moving up, and maybe we just be expecting some little movement towards that one to, yeah, a good retracement over here. The market is already over, about people have bought the NAS so much, and we can just be expecting little comeback. Yeah, so that is Nasdaq. So if you maybe you are a long time trade, so I cannot maybe sometimes you can time a very good entry over there, but actually if you can actually wait for the Nasdaq over here and you enter your trends over there, and then you're just going to enter and to have a very amazing profit around that region. Same thing to which we draw about the US30. What's happening with the US30? What's happening with the US30? So this is what we do about US30, and I posted this. So this is called a symmetric triangle. So what happens with this symmetric triangle is that at the end of the 8, anything can just happen. So I'm going to end this or end triangle. Anything can just happen on the symmetric triangle because there is movement when this breakout of this. So then, because we held a breakout towards the upper side, let me now delete this because we end two options. Now there's now the possibility that is just going to come back around this area and then end to the previous high that was formed around this region, and that is 35,600, and that is what we can see over here on the US30. You can see US30, that was a perfect US30, that was what we call the symmetric triangle. Symmetric triangle, we can have breakout at any side, and that was we see over here on the symmetric triangle 1 2 3 4, and we actually got this breakout. So it's just a little retracement, and then we can proceed up to this point. The reason it actually will proceed to this point is actually when you are combining still with this indicator, it's just the market will just be ending to that region actually before it becomes an overbought. So there's possibility that the US30 will actually continue going up, but we have a very little retracement over here before the market actually ends up. Okay, I'm going to finish this. I'm already tired, don't want them to go to that long, so that is what we can. So that is what you can just be expecting on that. Yeah, so you can try those things I've talked about over here on your side, and let's see what you just expect over here. But there's also something. Oh no, so I'm going to end this. I'm tired already, so hey, kuongea masaa 1 hour, sijazoea kuongea 1 hour, 1 hour yote. Do you trend Ethereum? Ethereum is actually got a very perfect entry. I see, acha niwapee hii muone. Ethereum actually has a very perfect entries around this area. So there are some people who actually bought Ethereum, and it was nice experience here. Ethereum. This is a 1 day time frame, and you know you can trade crypto on FXbase as well. Look at this, look at that. So Ethereum is actually buying, and you can be waiting actually to touch 2100, and you can see that's a good move in case it touches 2100 Ethereum. So Ethereum might touch 2100 over there, so that can be a very good one. So in case it just touches that one, so this is Ethereum USD, you can trade that one. And yeah, the current price is 1722. My entry was 9. My entry actually was on weekend, so I just decided to invest on that, but I will still wait. You remember this, you have to have patience. So you can just be waiting the movement to be moving up, but you can see it just shows us that Ethereum is actually recovering together with the gold, and we have movement. We can have movement going up. So it's not a bad if you actually buy around this area. It's not a bad thing buying Ethereum at this moment. It's not a bad idea. 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 It's not a bad idea buying Ethereum. It's not a bad idea to buy Ethereum actually, because either 22, 2100 will be just be ending, but you have to know that put a stop loss around 15, 16. Yeah, 16, so 15, 500. it just depends with what you use to trade Ethereum. There are some people use exchange, there are some people who use brokers. It just depends on what you use. So if you trade using the exchange platform, then it just can be very nice. It can just be very nice, but entry for that Ethereum is not bad. The entry point for the Ethereum is not bad at the current price. At the current price is not bad, because the risk that will just be taken once, the risk reward will just be big. 2200 to 15500, that is worthy to take. Yeah, that is worthy to take. So we can just finish from there. Thank you for those who have joined. Thank you for those who have watched this one. I've been here for 1 hour, so thank you so much for those who have been watching this. I hope maybe you have benefited from somewhere. This was just a shallow overview outlook of the market. The reason I just call it the market outlook Monday is because it's just an opinion. Is not a perfect way to enter it's just something that will just give you this. Remember, I'm not advising you testing. So what I'm saying is that whatever you will see me doing over here, you make sure that you try on your side. Make sure that you try on your side. Try on your side, draw trend lines on your side, draw everything on your side, and make sure that it's just working before you buy or sell. You make sure you confirm on yourself. That is the reason I call it outlook. Search for the one outlook and you see that. Okay, thank you so much for the support, for the love of the Dan Tech channel, and make sure that you always subscribe, watch my videos. I've taught almost everything about forex trading, fundamental analysis, technical analysis. If actually you are beginner in forex trading and you want to get started, all my videos, I have the playlist down one below. You can just watch and they're just going to be helping you very, very much over there. No much to say today, so let's see, and I'll not delete what I've written over there. We just come to at the end of the week, maybe Friday, to know and identify to see where the market actually, if the market moved the way we have actually identified. And actually, if we will have that proof maybe at the end of the week, then next Monday you actually invite someone to join our live. See you next time. Bye bye, adios, good day, good trading week. Have a amazing